Atlanta United traded Julian Gressel Tuesday for $650,000 in allocation money that could be up to 1.1 million after some incentives, and fans are reeling from this one. And throwing all logic aside for a second, we're going to get into that, and that's the point of this video. But the immediate reaction is just a gut punch, right? Because this guy is such a fan favorite, always has been. He's our second draft pick after Miles Robinson, our all-time assist leader at 35 in 3 years, and it hurts to see this guy go. And I will never forget the moment after winning MLS Cup where Gressel picked that cup up and carried it over to the supporter section, raised it up in front of the fans, and the building just went wild. And that was the moment that it really clicked for me that, holy crap, Atlanta won a championship. This has never happened in my living memory. I was a year old when the Braves won a World Series, and it just was such a surreal moment. And seeing a guy who was a focal point of such an iconic night like that, it just hurts to lose him. But we're gonna channel our inner Southern a little bit tonight. We're gonna bottle all of this emotion up. We're gonna repress it deep down, save it for the next match day. We'll let it all out then, and let's look at this logically. Let's see where the club goes from here, and we're all gonna get through this together. All right? So just buckle in. We're gonna be fine. Now, in processing why this deal was made, we have to start with the money. As Carlos Bocanegra and Julian Gressel both said in interviews with the AJC, which I'll link down in the description, this deal was made because the club and the player just couldn't come to an agreement on the salary going forward. And both sides really shifted the blame for that onto MLS's salary cap structure, which I have my own thoughts about and how that impacts international competition, but we'll get into that another day. For now, the rules as they exist meant that it was going to be restrictive for us to pay Julian Gressel the amount that he is apparently getting from DC, which is reportedly upwards of $700,000 a year. So do I think Julian Gressel is worth $700,000 a year? Probably, but it's not that simple, unfortunately. With the way that MLS's salary cap works, and I'll have another link in the description to the MLS website and their breakdown of the salary rules in case you're not familiar, paying a player that amount is going to require some allocation money like what we brought in for this deal. And it makes paying a contract of that size a lot more complicated than just give him $700,000. The reality is we have to look at this and say, can we do more with the money saved plus the money we brought in, which totals up to about $1.7 million. And the answer to that is probably yes. That allows us to go out and make a signing of a guy who's going to cost a transfer fee that would put him over the normal salary cap, bring him in, and add a player that ultimately might be a better roster fit going forward. Because as great as Gressel has been over the past couple of years for us, unfortunately, his role was probably going to diminish as we transfer fully into the system and the formation that Frank de Boer wants to run going forward with this club. Now, as the roster currently stands, our starting 11 probably looks something like this, and this will likely change. As I said, we're going to use the money we brought in to bring in some additional players, but currently we're looking at a 4-3-3 with something like this 11. Now, in the 3-5-2 that we ran for most of the last couple of years, Gressel played that right-sided wingback and really excelled in that role. However, in this 4-3-3, he just can't play that right back in a two center back system. He's not solid enough defensively, so he would have to play somewhere either in the midfield or in that right wing spot. And unfortunately, I just don't think he plays either of those positions better than anybody who's on the field right now in this 11. Gressel is a versatile player, and he did play a variety of positions for us over the last 3 years, but again, the one where he really excelled was that right wing back that we just can't really fit him into anymore with the type of system that we really want to run. As much as it really does hurt to lose Julian Gressel, it's ultimately what's best for him. He'll be able to go get his paycheck, and in the long term, it probably ends up being what's best for the club. it's hard to say how this trade really worked out until we see what we're able to do with this money, but the front office hasn't really failed us so far. I have faith in them, and I think everything is going to be okay. I know losing a player like this after also losing Michael Parkhurst and Darlington Nagbe and Leandro Gonzalez Perez, some of the truly iconic faces of this club, it can feel like the sky is falling, but take a deep breath. We're going to be okay. This is going to be a really good soccer team, and it's going to be an awesome season. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you around Atlanta.